Welcome back to the second half. Things were exploding last time I checked. I suppose the explosion's over. Now everything's on fire. What are we doing?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
He arrived in a town car. Did he leave in the town car or did he leave in the flyer?
He left in the flyer. The car is still there.
All right. So we need to check out then.
Someone check if that thing is set to explosives.
Yeah, set to explode.
Did we possibly get any sort of like number identifier or something for the flyer?
Like a license plate?
There might be like a identification number painted on the side. Like
yeah, Eshairr definitely has the identification number memorized, I would think.
Yeah. So the plan is we're going to report it to the Inquisitor, see if we can not necessarily have the Inquisitor see, but ourselves see if we can get any sort of tracking on that flyer, see where it's going.
Okay. So you call up your local Inquisitor, Calidus.
Yes.
You get, like a minute wait before he answers, seated behind his desk, and he says, Acolyte.
Inquisitor, I have a report to give. We went
How
to
unusual.
it was essentially a weapons buy of large quantity. Found out that it was from the Arbite that we've been hearing was being watched, that we saw was being watched. Then soon after he left with his weapons that he purchased, the place exploded with me inside. We have suspicion to believe that he was the reason of it. There's a warehouse that is on fire that will be burned down probably some point soon.
What part of this is in keeping with our Inquisitorial mission?
Well, considering that the traitor that attacked this church was watching him, I have some reason to suspect that he could be working with him.
So he looks away from the screen for a moment and then says, would you like your team to handle the rest of this yourselves, or shall I dispatch a less priority team to clean it up?
The Arbite, sir?
The situation. I assume, given the visuals behind you, that someone needs to put out a fire at some point.
Yes.
And a investigation should be held into the cause of this, and of course, the Arbite should be investigated.
Yes.
Normally that would be done by the Arbite, but your report to me now seems to indicate that you do not trust the Arbites to carry out such a report, that heresy may be involved. So I ask you again, do you wish to further involve your own team despite your continuing mission? Or shall
Out of character, how much longer is it till the Festival of Fists?
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
so like 12
Okay.
hours.
Okay. Yes, then yes, we would like to have a team further investigate this.
Very well. It will be done. How unlike you to call in support, Acolyte.
We do have one surviving witness that may need that will need medical attention.
You are all trained in some measure of field medicness.
I can do it.
Drop it at a local hospital somewhere, unless you'd like to install cybernetics on yet another passing peasant.
Acolyte, it's probably worth noting that it was Progena that were helping the Arbite load the shuttle. They may be members of Aspect's cult. I mean, he was a drill abbot. He ran Progena for years, and while the Inquisitor purged this generation of Progena, they may be from a previous class or group that has fallen under the cult sway.
Or a different skull altogether.
Yeah, it's possible that this Arbite was being observed for recruitment rather than for termination.
Were
like the cult in
they
the past.
Indeed.
What more can you tell me about these progena? Did they have any other identifying characteristics?
I'll describe them as best I can.
Okay, so he says, do you believe that they were the older ones who were no longer progena are perhaps arbitres themselves?
So out of character, normally arbitres never get assigned to the planet they were trained on.
Yes, I know. That's what I was about to drop.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So I was gonna say that I don't think that they were from the scholar on this world, but whether or not more arbitres have been pulled into this, I don't know how much the arbitres are coordinating with the Inquisition.
Yeah, so, I mean, he says, you probably are not aware of this, Ranger, but our law enforcement officials are drawn from different planets to serve. This would indicate a multi-planet level of conspiracy, which I was not planning for. I will dispatch this secondary team to assist you immediately, but I will need to adjust several of my plans. And he cuts off communications.
I'm gonna pull Lycus, or I guess we're all kind of huddled around, whatever. I would like to propose a theoretical. What if the bomb was not planted by our dear arbiters, but was it meant to take him and his retinue out, but was simply mistimed?
There were two reasons. I agree. Either it was to kill him when it was poorly executed, or it was to remove witnesses to the purchase. In which case, if he learns that we're still alive, we're still a loose end, as is, I indicate towards the injured guy. So if he is the enemy here, we may be able to draw him out, unless this was simply a smokescreen for an attack which is going to happen soon. Because they have their equipment now. I mean, the Festival of Fists is tomorrow. It seems a likely thing to stage a major assault around.
Indeed. I'll call in essentially a pickup for us. At least like a
Space Uber.
Pickup. Well, essentially a medical pickup for our friend who.
Okay, I mean, as you know, this small base here has a full Imperial Guard regiment that answers to you. You basically recruited the entire base. So they're going to send a army transport over in, like in the next 5 minutes with, loaded down with medics and shit. Sorry, I guess they'd be called apothecary.
No, apothecaries are Space Marines. Medicae.
Okay, yeah, they're sending medicaes.
I'll also check the guy over, see if I can stop the bleeding.
Witness alive.
Okay.
He's a burn victim, essentially, right?
Yes, he is.
I mean, so I don't know if there's a whole lot that we can do other than give him some fucking morphine.
I mean, with that Medicaid test, friend.
Well, I could help offset. Can I aid?
Absolutely. You'll also have to make the test in that case.
What's the difficulty?
3.
You have 7 there. Do you have 7 or 6?
Doesn't matter. He succeeded by a lot.
Okay.
And he got an upshift and a critical.
Do I add just a die?
I think you had a die. Yeah.
I can upshift to give him another die, right?
I think
that is my extra die. All right.
I'll let you re-roll that one. That's so cocked.
Well, it says 4.
I'll let you re-roll it. Look at the way that landed. Come on now.
Well, either way, I get an upvote.
Yes. I'm aware.
You want me to re-roll it?
Yes, I want you to re-roll it.
He wants you to get a 1.
I do want you to get a 1, of course. Listen, I only design these scenarios so that you fail and I kill your characters every week.
Well, I get a 3.
Okay, it's enough.
If I left it would have been an upvote. But
listen, this is not enough to keep him alive in the long term, but for the next few minutes, you will keep him from bleeding out and dying.
Trying to stabilize him.
That's
yes.
enough.
Look, medics don't heal people; they just make them comfortable while they die.
Okay.
Your transport and the Medicaid transport arrive at nearly the same time. You can see them coming from a distance away as they're burning rubber down the road. If you'll recall, this is several minutes outside of town on a long flat road. So yeah, you see them coming. there's like two situations happening. Like one transport, a guy steps out and is like, "Go, go, go!" He's waving to a bunch of people who, take the obviously injured guy and stick him in the back, and another guy pops out of his transport. He's like, "Get in, get in, get in!" To the four of you.
Should we investigate the guy's car that he just left?
Probably should.
I mean, they're sending out a team, right? I mean, that's just them handling it. We got other shit to do with.
I don't know if they're an investigation team or a cleaning up team, though.
Well,
That's fair.
it's the Inquisition. They could very well be both.
Yeah. I mean, listen, let me tell you something. Why don't you think back on your investigations? Which one do you think you are?
I mean, the bad news is that if this is a multi-planet conspiracy affecting the Scholar Progenium, then any members of the Ministorum, any members of the Sororitas, any members of the Commissariat, the Militarum Tempestus, or the Arbites, indeed several Inquisitors, are potentially people that could be considered compromised.
Heresy.
I mean, we have a decent base of people. Like you said, we've got essentially an Imperial Guard regiment, more or less, or output, whatever. Like we have some people we can trust, but we definitely are going to be need to be kind of self-reliant. I mean, I can trust my battle brothers.
Yeah, the Marines are. This is the thing: is the Marines and the Eldar are the two we know to be uncompromised by this particular conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, I know at least I don't have a whole lot of sway as of yet. But I mean, if push comes to shove, at least it's something. But unfortunately, like I said,
are you scholar trained, Acolyte?
Am I scholar trained?
I mean, were you trained in the Scholar Progenium, or were you?
Yeah, before you were pulled out.
Oh my god. You're about to check and make sure that Lycus and Antipho aren't in on this? You're like, who do we know that are from this planet?
I don't think I think Antipho's fine. I think
all of you begin leveling weapons at each other.
We heard Antipho's thoughts. He's more concerned about sandwiches.
Well,
that is what a cultist would want you to think, though.
This is
he snuck off to
everyone levels weapons, and Antipho
recruitment.
holds out a can of bacon.
It's like, oh, wrong gun.
He drops his gun because his hands are covered in bacon grease. He didn't clean them off like fucking barbarian.
Now I don't. You muted AP.
I said he turns the can towards you so it fires bacon at you.
Now I don't know if I'm actually from this planet or not, because I remember.
I believe we've keenly. My notes say that you are, because I asked you and Antipho if you were.
I am definitely from this planet.
Yes, we've established that we even know what neighborhood you're from.
So have we established what Lycus was before he was an Acolyte?
No.
I think I was just a fairly regular citizen until I killed a orc captain.
Or are you?
And then.
My God, he's a sleeper.
I was a regular citizen until I killed an orc captain, where the Inquisitors saw promise in me, put him under his wing.
What is a regular citizen, though? Not that we're investigating you. We're just inquisiting you real quick. Yeah, I mean, regular citizen, what does that mean? You a farmer? Like, you a cop? You have to tell us if you were a cop.
Them's the rules.
That's not true at all.
What did you do? What's a regular? Were you an actuarian?
Did you work at a 7-Eleven?
He's a librarian. He literally just picked books up all day. Once he got a taste for blood, he couldn't stop. God, what could Lycus have been? What skills does he?
Where would he be that would put him and an orc in the same place at the same time?
I know, but think about it though. Like almost all of his skills that he has now are murder based.
True.
What did he do before he joined the Inquisition?
I think he's a cultist.
I don't know. It could have been like a spy or something. I don't know if they're really spies.
Well, you could have been a population informant, right? Something like that. You could have just
a spy for the enemy.
No, a spy for the Imperium. You just informed on
police.
Everyone. Yeah. Ooh, that would be really cool though, right? Like the governor's secret police. Oh, what if he was just an enforcer? You know, the planetary version of police officers.
Like a
Right.
plainclothes
A
type deal.
hard-bitten detective, Lycus Santoro. We get the prequel where he just goes around chomping on whatever the cigarettes are called, low sticks.
Yeah.
It's a young Lycus Santoro. He doesn't have the full beard yet, and he looks in the camera and goes, "This is some real shit" all the time. That's his catchphrase.
Internal
Full
monologue.
on
You just hear
noir
his
mode.
internal monologue the whole time.
It's a dark night in a hive city that never sleeps. Dark because I'm 20 layers underground. Who knows if I'm ever gonna get out of this shit.
Say it's like a enforcer that could have been on like off planet or just like on a moon, like where we were fighting the orcs.
Oh yeah, the defense platform that's meant to catch incoming ships.
Yeah.
Orbital defense platform.
It's a little mini Pluto for the sector. Yeah, I like this idea that you were sent out there to chase down a criminal, and then fucking orcish invasion happened.
Shit just happens. I mean, at least in the books, it's incredibly common for just like average Joes to find themselves in the most insane of shit.
The hive lights twinkled around me like diamonds on velvet.
Oh shit! There's an orc attack.
Little soft jazz playing in the background.
It's acidic rain. It hurts to be in.
So, your driver gets you back into the city, and then, opens the divider between the passenger and compartment area, and goes, "Where am I taking you guys? We just got away from a burning, exploding building."
Didn't we have a dinner appointment?
I'm actually trying to get the seatbelt to go, but it's just like so.
Oh, you guys
Just
going to the
getting started.
planetarium?
I
About
mean,
the
it'd
only
be
place
interesting if he showed up.
We can see if anything. We get something to eat, rest a little
mean,
bit.
I wish to consume more of the pierogies. They
I
were,
mean, if it was an attack
delicious.
on him, then he would be there still tonight, presumably.
or I mean, unless he's gone underground, we don't know.
Or he
But-
could be hoping to determine if we were caught in the blast or not.
Well, that's kind of what we have to figure out. If the trap was meant for him, or if it was set by him. Let's say
That being
trap.
said, if
explosion.
we were caught in the trap and survived, we'd be pretty dumb to go to the dinner. He'd probably figure that.
I'm gonna just circle
We
the
would
block
be
a few
extremely
times.
stupid to do it. That's why we should do it. It's something they would never expect.
So he just makes a continual set of right turns while you guys talk.
Let's go to the dinner.
Pierogies!
Planetarium, then.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a flying vehicle, isn't it?
No, this is a ground vehicle.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Wheels,
Okay, 'cause
yep.
I was just imagining this guy having to like constantly communicate with traffic control about where he's going.
No,
Because
you
you
just
fly
say
Holding pattern.
altitude 20 meters, flight plan IFR. Yeah, exactly. I
These
guess
sound like aeronautical terms. Throw them in there.
IFR is a very aeronautical term.
I know.
I
That's what I'm
worked
saying.
on a military base for a while for the FAA. Look, don't worry about it. Although, again, you would not be allowed to fly this close or this close to the ground.
20 meters IFR here. Please stick weather.
Well,
That's what you're doing.
I would point out several things. With hover technology, 20 meters is a bit more reasonable, but two, you would not be allowed to approach a military base on IFR, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just allow you to get out of the vehicle when they drive you up. You get there within 2 minutes. You could see people, regular workers, nowhere around. It's not late
Hand
enough.
The driver a can of bacon.
Okay, he takes the bacon and he's just like, "You're sweet. I love this stuff. Can't afford it
Right.
on a guardsman ration. There's a salary, that's for sure." He just pops it open, takes a piece, hands some pieces
I'm already
to.
walking away. It's
okay.
Here's your tip. Here's your tip.
Are we waiting for you or just?
No, you can go.
Okay, yeah.
We'll call if we need pickup.
I head back to base. Yeah, so regular workers' shift change isn't for like another hour and a half. It's afternoon in an Imperium town. In a small town like this, you're not looking at people wandering around. Nobody's shopping, right? There's not really a commercial district here. It's a farming town. So you go into the planetarium and they seem shocked that someone walked through the door. And the hostess is just like, I recognize y'all. Tell you what, why don't we just get you set up on the private room again? We'll get you a plate of pierogies.
A plate.
Like it's dusting off.
Just
like
to
his
start
smolder
with. Just to start with.
self.
I look over at Kalrak. Better make that 10.
I believe we're going to need 10 for my large friend here, and then about 10 for the rest of us to share.
Well, we're waiting for the guy, right? So we don't need to go
Yes.
crazy with it.
I was saying we just need. No, I was saying for you need 10.
Food helps
then 10
calm
for
the
the rest.
nerves.
Well, if you're looking to calm your nerves, tonight is the one night of the entire year where we
Is
serve
it dollar beer night?
hard alcohol. You know,
I
normally we don't try to encourage drunkenness in our local
I
employees,
look sidelong over at
citizens. But with the Festival of Fists tomorrow, we want to make sure everyone is in a right religious mood. Shall I have you a bottle of sacramental wine prepared? It's been blessed by local priests.
I look sidelong over at
Sure.
Lycus. Look back over at Kalrak. 3.
3 glasses. Understood.
No, 3 bottles.
No, I'm not drinking.
Just one bottle
then
will be
One
fine.
bottle. One
Okay.
bottle.
She takes your order for 11 plates of pierogies and 1 entire bottle of sacramental wine.
And 4 orders of those meat fries.
Okay. Wow. I guess they really pack them down wherever you guys come from. All right. She's walking away. She takes a look at Eshairr and says it too low for anyone but Eshairr and Kalrak, which is like, she's just like, I wonder if she's the one that eats the most out of the 4 of them. Such a
I
skinny
wasn't
little
here
thing.
last time. I didn't join in last time.
Oh,
outside.
well, that's what she says though, right? Is it like
Yeah.
such a skinny little thing?
She would have the highest metabolism. That's usually how that works.
I figured the hulking man would have the highest metabolism.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I have a cousin who runs track and field, and he, like, dude, it's like 120 pounds and eats more than like my entire family combined.
Yeah. I mean, about an hour. Well, let's talk about this wine first. You know, it's got scroll work on it that seals it. So, you know, it's got that big wax seal symbol. The scroll is wrapped around it. It's got things declaring, you know, like, it's been blessed personally by a Imperium priest. It has the name of the priest written on the side of the bottle, the time and day of its consecration, a blessing to the great Sky Father for whom we raise our fists to.
Is it the priest Ernest and Julio?
I don't get the reference, but no.
Ernest and Julio Gallo?
No, sorry.
No.
No. I recognize Gallo wine, though.
Yeah, cheap
Yeah.
ass wine.
It's definitely not cheap-ass wine. The priest is named Tom, Thom.
Well,
Who's
means
drinking?
we're gonna be meeting with this guy. So Antipho is still in a bit of combat mode, so he will pour a drink, but not actually drink it.
Okay.
I think Lycus will pour the drink, then sniff to see if it is at all possibly poisoned.
It's
Fantastic.
alcohol. It's by default poison.
Yeah, it definitely smells poisony.
I mean, not regular alcohol poison.
It
but
definitely
poison
does
poison.
not smell like regular alcohol either. I mean, it smells like, you know, herbs and shit.
Like, oh god, what Christmas wine kind of?
Oh,
Malt
glue.
wine or whatever.
No, it's German. It's the glue.
You know what, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't pronounce it or
I
remember
can't
what it's
remember
called.
what it's
Yeah, isn't it? It's mulled wine, isn't it? It's the German stuff.
well,
I think it is.
I think it's just called glue wine.
There's
Well,
just like
mulled wine is like heated wine.
Yeah,
with some
mulled wine is
cinnamon
just
and-
heated wine. It's called Gluehwein. Is a German Austrian winter holiday drink that's meant to be heated up. It's specifically made to be mulled. It's not like, I mean, you can mull any wine, but this wine was made to be mulled.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they used
essentially
to
it's
serve
called Christmas in a bottle, is what
Yeah.
I've heard people call it.
They used to serve it at the Christmas party of the German company I worked for.
Yeah. It's hot and spicy. It's like good stuff.
Smells good.
Tastes like reindeers.
It tastes like rage.
Christmas.
See, reindeers taste like jerky, though.
Oh man, now I want deer jerky.
Right.
God damn it, Antipho.
I'm going to say this out loud, Pondo.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. You drinking this wine? You're just looking at the wine?
Like, take a light sip of it.
Okay. Can I ask you to make a corruption check real quick?
Excellent.
None of you know the corruption is happening.
Antipho,
I'd just like you to make the roll.
Lycus becomes an alcoholic instantly.
I don't remember what you roll for corruption. It's a conviction?
D6s.
Conviction.
Conviction, yeah.
Do you roll your wrath die with it?
You roll wrath dice with it, yes.
Yes.
And the wrath dice is
It's the best part
important.
about corruption is you don't know about it until it's too late.
I think I'm good.
What'd you
So
get?
6 on the wrath dice reduces difficulty by 1.
Okay.
Ooh.
You pass. You have no idea that anything happened.
Okay.
So you nor the rest of the table know that there's anything wrong with this wine. Just want to remind you that going forward.
So there's nothing wrong with the wine?
Nothing wrong with the wine. Tastes
Okay.
great.
It's fun. It's a good one. Antifo's still expecting battle, imminent violence, so he won't be drinking.
If you enjoy that wine, you should try the wine made by the Blood Angels. It is
Is it
exquisite.
made of blood?
Contains blood.
It's just
All four of you receive a Vox simultaneously about 20 minutes before your scheduled dinner start time.
right.
Pull it
So,
up.
It's the same guy on all of them. And he like starts shutting down so that only one of you is getting the call. And he like Skyped all of you, but now that he knows that you're all in the same room, he just picks one person. The man, he seems like he's shorter than everybody else around him, but that might just be because they're so huge. For you, Kalrak, you immediately know that he's standing in between one Deathwatch Black Shield, and on the other side is a Blood Angel Space Marine. And both of them are in full Battle Brother armor.
So, like, is it a Deathwatch Blood Angel or actual Blood Angel?
There's
I
a
said
Blood
there's
Angel
a
and
Black
a
Shield,
Deathwatch Black Shield who does
Black
not.
Shield and a Blood
He does
Angel.
not have a
Okay.
company identifier or any
Yeah.
marks as to who he came from.
Yeah.
I think that's standard for Black Shields, but
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
You
that's
can
what
check
Black
me.
Shields do.
Yeah,
um,
what I mean is, like, the Blood Angel's in red armor. He's not in.
yeah,
black
he's in
Deathwatch
regular
with Paul
Blood Angel armor.
There are two Astartes, is what it's saying.
Yes, there's two different Astartes flanking him. So his actual height, somewhat secluded. It's clear that he's on some sort of Imperium ship of custom build. Everything's dark and gothic, wires everywhere, exposed. Standard consoles, but not a standard make.
In before fucking Rogue Trigger.
And he's... Do you say that out loud? Okay. He says, "Welcome, friends. The name is Bryce Danger of the Danger Trading Bloodline. I am the rogue trader who recently arrived at this world. I have an interesting tale to tell you, if you have the time or means."
Currently, there's about 20 minutes to kill, so
Well, I think 20 minutes will not even get you through the elevator to my ship, so, 20 minutes might be the walk from the docking bay to the elevator.
would you please proceed with your tale? that you
My
want to give us?
tale is best told in person. And the
Okay.
Blood Angel next to him, just like almost out of camera, like nods, like, yes, that's correct. He says, "It's not related to your current work, my tale. But after it's told, I'd like to offer you an opportunity. My understanding is that you are currently working with a friend of my friend who you might know that recently arrived on planet since I brought her here. I trust you know what I'm speaking of.
Yes, we're painfully aware of your friend that came to the planet.
Ah, excellent. Then you know that I know what organization you work with. Sometimes folks like yourselves find yourself in need of extra employment, special deals on rare items, assistance in unusual goods or services, and it can never hurt to have a rogue trader as a friend.
Kalrak's gonna lean over to.
I'm going to
Lycus.
tell you that this guy has such a punchable face.
Yeah.
And not like people say that Pondo has a punchable face. Like, listen, I've heard people say Pondo has a punchable face. I don't get it. Like, this guy
I
looks
know
like...
Rad said it,
Yes,
but it was
I
in
know.
a good way.
This
I don't know
guy
who else has said
looks
it.
like a douchebag.
So he's got like the Ajit pie looking, like you just want to take his mug and beat him over the head with it.
Yes, exactly. Everything about him screams untrustworthy in the way that only a rogue trader can.
Yeah, fucking rogue traders, man. Okay.
Acolyte, we should know within half an hour whether this guy is actually coming or not. Maybe if there's time, if he doesn't turn up, we could speak with this captain.
Where is your
Could be
ship at the
fun.
moment? Or
Well,
where are
I've
you
moved
at the
myself into
moment?
geosynchronous orbit over your position.
Oh, that's not disconcerting.
He does
at all.
have the confidence of two of my cousins. Perhaps we should hear him out.
How long would it take to get to?
Oh, so when you say that, he says, "Oh, actually, there are a few blood angels that follow me."
Yes.
It relates to, well, my story.
I imagine. Out of character, how long would it take to get to the ship at the...
I mean, you'd have to get
geosynchronous orbit?
transported up there.
Yeah,
you know.
we'd have to go to a place where there's orbital transport.
You could always get
Mm,
teleported.
We could probably, we might be able to. Yeah, okay. We could probably, maybe ask the chapter might be willing to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a multi-hour process getting
Yeah, it's
onto
not-
the ship
it's not gonna
and
be-
meeting with him.
This-
It's
yeah,
not going to
'cause
be
it's-
fast.
It's not like a combat drop or anything, so it's just whenever they get around to it. But I agree with James that we'll know real
Yeah.
quick whether this guy's going to show up or not.
I'm just wondering time frame of getting going there, then getting it back before the Festival of Fists start.
It's possible, but there's also a chance that it wouldn't happen.
Well, the festival's also, I mean, it's a pretty substantial event.
I mean, it's
right?
it's a whole day long.
Yeah.
But it involves everyone going underneath the planetarium to the sacred stadium that's located underneath here.
Would the Lord Captain come to us somewhere on the planet that's secure? Do we
Nope.
have to go to his ship?
No, I
No,
like my
he's-
ship and I like being there.
We're not going
your
to
local
sleep
government.
anytime soon, are we?
So he just says your local government, I guess, hasn't heard from anyone in 100 years, and they're real curious to find out more information about the galaxy, and they have not stopped calling me. And I am afraid that if I set foot on the planet, I'm going to find myself in an Inquisitorial holding chamber for longer than I'd like.
That was fair.
Information has cost, my friend. And until your little planet is willing to start ponying up, I am not willing to risk myself down there. Plus, your guys' taxes are due, and no one's paying that. We got tithe ships up here, unloaded. Yikes. All right.
So some of us could go to see the captain, and some of us could stay here just in case. That's the other option.
Yeah.
Mm,
mean,
splitting the party.
I think it's only going to take, like you said, 20, 30 minutes. We'll know, and then we can just go as a group. I don't think there's a reason.
Look, it's
Yeah,
it's an
I
open,
imagine dinner
this is
won't
not
take long.
immediate, guys. If you need help at some point, you can come see me, okay? I just wanted to offer the deal as long as I'm in the area. I spoke with Lady Pisha. She said relatively nice things about some of you and spoke at detail about others of you.
We'll discuss a little bit further. We'll discuss it further when we would come visit you in about 20 minutes or so.
Now, is that
would
your
be
20
safe to-
minutes or my 20 minutes? Because
be
let
our
me tell
20
you something.
minutes.
My chronometers have never been more accurate.
Our 20 minutes.
Geosynchronous orbit now, right? I mean, it should be the same.
He's had to remember the auto temporis on his ship.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that whole fleet, every single clock, perfectly tuned. He hangs up. About 5 minutes before your scheduled meeting time, Zetar Gilweed comes in, kind of looks around, notices that nobody's here, and then like says something to the hostess, and she's like, "Oh, well, people are gonna be arriving shortly," and he's like, I suppose I assumed that my companions would have already arrived. They're like that, but I will wait here for 5 minutes. He goes and stands by the bar, and the bartender's like, "You want anything?" And he's like, "No, I'm just going to stand here." Bartender's just like, "Okay."
Someone should go and fetch him.
Is there like a call waitress button or something?
Yeah.
Just press that. And...
All right. Yeah. So a few minutes later, you get him up there. As 6 o'clock happens, people start rolling in. Workers coming off shift. He sees that you have a bottle of open Festival of Fist wine, and he's just like, "Ah, fist wine." This is the most animated you've ever seen. And he like picks the bottle up and begins drinking from it, mouth on lip of bottle thing, just glugging it down right in front of you. And he goes, "Ah, love that stuff. I have it every year that I come by." He plops down in one of the nice plushy seats nearby, crosses one leg over the other. This is the most casual you've ever seen this person, who's been extremely rigid and by the book in every other interaction. So what's up?
I was
Look over
wondering
at
if I could question you about your purchase.
So let's say he just unwound, he rewinds immediately. Feet on the floor, arms on the arms of the chair, rigid back, 90-degree seating, bottle placed on the nearby table, and says, "I thought we were here to discuss personal matters. I didn't realize this was a
Well, due to most recent events, it has gone to more, maybe not personal for you, but personal for me as the moment. Since after you left, the place exploded with me inside.
the place exploded."
Yes. And
rather
you left without-
spectacularly, in fact.
You left without your vehicle.
Kalrak just goes,
I was going to go back for my vehicle tomorrow evening after the Festival of Fists. Is it functional?
"It was intact when we left."
Very well. That is acceptable.
Everyone inside the building died.
That's
except for me.
unfortunate.
I will be clear cut with you as my patience has gone a little bit thin at the moment.
I would expect after surviving a bombing. My compliments to your fortuitous alacrity.
Yes, luckily I had a human shield to block most of the fire.
How fortuitous and alacritous.
Now, the reason why there's some I have interest in you is due to me finding information about a cult that has massive interest in you. In fact, the leader of the cult is the one that caused the assault on the church not too long ago.
What kind of cult are we talking about here? Like, he seems alarmed when you say this. Like, this is a show of emotion while he's on duty, which, again, super unusual for him.
I believe it's a cult that, out of character, how secretive are we supposed to be about the works of chaos?
Speaking the name of a ruinous power invokes a corruption test.
But people know about the ruinous power.
I mean, they have titles that people grant them, right?
I just don't know how public those titles
I mean,
are.
people know of heresy, for example. You could refer to heresy in a life.
it's a lot more known than it used to be, but it's not something that maybe the average
Or refer
citizen
to the
would
ruinous
think about.
powers as an open, as a
Okay.
broad term.
And like a higher ranking Arbites has probably dealt with some sort of cult activity at some point. I mean, hive planets have literally, hundreds of millions of people. So
Right.
as long as you just don't say one of the names, you could describe it in other ways.
Well, it was a cult of heretical power.
The ones that result in getting bolt pistols to the back of your head.
I am aware of. Which of the 5 flavors would you say is involved?
The degenerate kind.
They are
I
all
believe it's of
degenerate.
the ones of She Who Thirsts.
I understand. How unusual. I am not a man with unusual pleasures, so
There's also servants of the brass throne.
he just kind of dismisses
don't-
when you say that. He's like, eh.
Was there any other rise from hearing the?
No, he was just like, eh. Like,
Okay.
oh, brass down. Eh.
Well, I was talking about the She Who Thirsts one.
I mean, he said that's unusual because,
Yeah.
Like I'm not that kind of guy.
So I will ask again. Why is it that you purchase so many weapons at the arms dealer?
More
My
importantly, who would want to prevent you from doing so?
personal business is my own. My gun purchases are protected by Imperial law. I have nothing further to say in that particular regard. As for who would wish to prevent me from making a gun purchase, I would expect any heretic, anyone who hates law enforcement, or the Arbites specifically.
So you're stating that these weapons were purchased for law enforcement purposes.
No,
And what were they purchased for?
personal use.
Just look
I have to
over
tell
at
you, I do
Lycus.
not have many personal enemies. My casework, until quite recently, was overwhelmingly rendering judgment on past crimes, typically cases that were 50 to 100 years old, and informing the descendants of the crimes that they would have the punishment taken out on them.
So Arthur, the fact that the Inquisition is here, because I've got the sort of Inquisitorial holding the fort, is that actually known to the populace or not?
No.
No, okay.
It's
I thought it was underneath the.
it's inside the.
Shenanigans.
Yes, it's inside the noble fortress for the governor. Regular people here don't quite know about the Inquisition yet, right? But this Lycus Santoro business is a little pushing it, right? Like,
But the
some of the
Arbites would
stories
be
about.
aware of the Inquisition's existence anyway.
No. From everything you guys have seen, the Arbites are unaware of the Inquisition's existence. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When they get sealed files, it just says refer to X or Y.
It's probably a bunch of redacted stuff.
Yep.
I'm going to need you to come with me. How did you arrive here?
I walked.
Okay.
Can I ask if I'm being detained by the planetary government?
You may.
Am
But
I
if
being detained by the planetary government?
You are.
As a law enforcement officer, you're aware that I am now aware of all of my rights and wish to retain my right to Imperial counsel before any judge that I might see.
Of course.
Very well. And he just stops talking and holds his hands out in front of him.
I don't think you're gonna have to cuff the guy who's cooperating.
Just come with us. I'll call in for a vehicle to give us a ride to. I don't know. I don't know if I have a secret interrogation chamber at our main base or not.
You want to go back to the one where you tortured the shit out of Fel Fizdern? Tower and Aspects' old apartment? I mean, listen, there's a standard issue Imperial Guard military base attached to this. You know, there definitely is some place where you can go beat somebody up while they're tied to a chair.
Yes, that's essentially where I want to go. I didn't know if I have one established there or not.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call for a transport to take this guy out, yeah, they'll have one ready for you in the next few minutes. As you're exiting, he says nothing to you, but some people are just like, "Oh, hey, Zetar," and he's just like, "I apologize. I know that the Festival of Fists will begin in the next few hours, but I will not be attending this year."
Well, no, it's the next day, right?
Yeah, but it starts exactly at midnight.
Oh, okay.
What time is it now?
Sometime slightly after 6 p.m.
Okay. There's some time.
I mean, he's now, like, you told him that you're arresting him, so, you know,
yeah.
He's assuming that you're about to take him somewhere and beat the shit out of him, because that's how Imperial arrest works.
Hold him without charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is saying he's like, "Oh, I know my rights," and it's like, rights.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
I mean, look,
thinking as well.
He's a senior arbitrator, right? Like, and he doesn't know about the Inquisition, and he doesn't know that you are Inquisition. So he's thinking it's going to be difficult for you to make him disappear, even if you are a hero of the Imperium, and that he'll get some sort of day in court. That's what he thinks from his point of view, but he's not saying anything.
Of course.
He doesn't have any reason to.
Yeah.
From his point of view, everything he's done is perfectly legal.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. There's gonna be a point real soon where we're either going to have to deal with him or bring him into our confidence. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I sort of thought we brought him here so we could bring him into our confidence in the first place.
So you're like
still beating around the bush.
You're shocked when you get into
That's up to Lycus, though.
Yeah.
I think Lycus is a little pissed they got blown up.
As
this man is being not forthcoming with the information.
As the five of you are
no
being driven back to the Imperium Astra Militarum base, you can see that there are several aircraft circling around where the warehouse is or was. And, you know, just like generally, you think your investigation team might have arrived. There's an ad for that specific brand of beer. Wine, the Sacramental Skyfather wine, on the billboard that's right before the base. Like, heading back to base, tomorrow's the Festival of Fists, grab a cold one. And then it's got a guy that looks surprisingly like Lycus Santoro chugging it back. Like, it's super clear that they got someone who looked like Lycus specifically because of his popularity. Yeah, I mean, you get on base and you can see Brody going around. You can see that mortar team doing laps somewhere. Everyone that we recognize, your whole force is here, basically. You know, the Eternal Dancer is probably hovering somewhere nearby. You takes about 20 or 30 minutes to transverse the base, but you get this guy in a holding room. I mean, you tell me what it looks like. Are we strapping him to a torture rack? Is this an interrogation room? Is there a drain on the floor?
I mean,
is the chair bolted to the floor? Like, you tell me what level of shit kicking this guy should expect when he walks in the room.
Rather a lot.
I don't necessarily know if there's like a drain to every floor in this building, essentially, just in case it floods or something.
It's more so they can just come in with a hose, really, but, you know.
Yeah. So ideally, there would be one there.
Because keep in mind, even though it is a Astra Militarum base, they do have military intelligence who are also do clandestine, whatever shenanigans, spies and shit, so...
Then Lycus will get his, like, have like a tray full of his special tools. A projection screen, and essentially there's going to be no other table, just his little like a tray on wheels full of his special tools. Him in a chair, chained to it.
He's just been cooperative, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to cross the point. Is do we?
Oh,
do the
Lycus is
whole
ready.
going down-
Oh, he's ready.
Well, I know he's ready, but I mean, he could just also be doing it to scare the shit out of the guy. Like, it's like how we got to figure out how we're gonna do this, because you don't want to cut a dude up if he's like, because if he's been cooperative the whole time or whatever else, I mean,
Dude,
there might be a need to kick the shit out of the guy.
it's going to be if he cooperated.
So I, out of care, obviously I could like start with a conversation and then
That's what I was
escalate
gonna
as
do.
necessary.
It's like Centaur, Lycus just puts on some gloves, essentially, just for his own.
Ooh, yeah.
Cleanliness.
Oh, and
Yes.
he makes a real, it's like a 20-second glove putting on scene there.
Yeah, now I'm going to ask very few times here. Tell me what your purchase for the weapons were.
He says nothing.
Silence is it going to be?
This might be the one appropriate time to Inquisition the fuck out of somebody.
I will not warn you again. If you do not tell me, it will be quite unpleasant for you. What was your purchase for the weapons for?
My right to silence in this regard is secured by the planetary charter.
Very well. Just note that you brought this pain upon yourself. You had your chance to miss this.
You have
But you decided to
no
go against it.
authority here.
My friend, you have no idea what authority I have. I'm feeling generous at the moment. Tell me, what was your purchase of the weapons? What was it for?
Make an intimidation roll.
I'm actually not that great at it, apparently.
Oh, listen to this classic Inquisitor line. Wow, James. Feeling those easy balls right there. Softballing that shit right in the midfield.
That's a classic Eisenhorn line.
Oh boy, a 3? Is that what you can muster up for me, Pondo? A 3?
I'll use my my last wrath.
Very
That
well.
was a pass.
That was a 5.
Yeah, sorry. I grabbed it while I was trying to grab the wrath.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Can I choose to not reroll the wrath die?
Great question. According to the sheet,
Or can I not
reroll failures once on a test, so you still have to roll it if it's a failure.
Okay. Oh, well, never
Look at
mind.
Mr. I'm
Everything you
worried
did.
it's going to show up as a 1 over here.
I was worried.
So that's 6 successes
Okay.
and a crit on the wrath.
See, he says, fine. I purchased them for several local friends who wish to remain anonymous. You might have noticed Sam has a bit of a mouth. They asked me to act as a umbrella to shield them from scrutiny from the rest of the townspeople. When I was assigned to this area, I was welcomed with open arms. I was young, away from home for the first time in my life, and they made me feel comfortable. So I feel very close with the people here. They are like family to me, and I would do much for them.
Who are these friends of yours?
Everything I just said should indicate to you why I will not tell you that.
You're going to tell me that. I need to know who your friends are, where they work, what they do in their pastimes. I want everything.
I mean, he's out from this point on. Like, complete shutdown.
Taking silence again? Good.
How long is this next torture sequence that we listen to? Are we talking like 10 minutes? 2 hours?
As long he'll go at most an hour or until
Oh, I thought you were going to say as long as
messes
it
up.
takes for him to break.
Well, now how long do we have until the Festival of Fists?
Um,
Well, it's 6 p.m. when we
Yeah.
arrested him.
I
So
mean,
6
I would say
hours?
about slightly more than 4 hours left. Right, you had to drive over
Oh, okay, 4
here,
hours. I'll
get everything
go.
I
arranged.
mean, he also seems to be. I mean, has some pretty strong resolve. So,
I'll go for 2 hours. See where he's at.
because you could always bring him into confidence, and then if whatever. I mean, you just get rid of him.
Can we have
Yeah.
a huddle?
Can we have a huddle? Group huddle?
You stepping out of the room to do the huddle?
Sure.
I mean, we get a quick look of him. His shirt's been ripped off. His abs are covered in blood. There's some holes in places of the human body that shouldn't have holes in them.
Acolyte,
Yes.
I just wanted to interject if I can. I'm not exactly an expert on these things, but I feel that first off, we haven't really established to him an authority other than the person that's got him, nor have we established any stakes for anyone other than himself. The only thing at stake here is his own pain, basically. If he is truly someone who cares about others, then they're a potential stake. Any harm that may befall them or benefit that they may gain. I mean, at the end of the day, if you go straight to inflicting injury upon him, then presumably you're going to end up in a situation where he tells you what you want to hear. I mean, his reaction before to the implication that the Lord of Skulls may have had some sway here seemed to be relatively minimal. But it's also possible that the people pulled into this cult may not know they're actually part of a cult. I mean, plenty of warriors in the past have fallen into Cain's embrace without realizing that they're doing something untoward. It's just the nature of battle. That it's possible that I guess one scholar is inflicted by the servants of the Prince of Pleasure, another scholar, another world is infected differently, and that's why we now have these two competing cults. But he may not know he is a cultist of the ruinous powers. He may simply be doing what he's been trained as natural.
And
I mean,
perhaps we threaten his friends.
I mean, he could just simply argue
It'd
that
be
at
very
the end of this
difficult
world,
to threaten his friends if we don't know who his friends are, and I don't think torturing him will get him to divulge that information.
Yes, but
This
he does
world
not
has
have
been
to know that we don't know.
this world's been attacked by
He
orcs,
already knows that
servants
we
of
don't know.
chaos, and Dark Eldar in recent months. Like it's conceivable that his friends only wanted weapons to protect themselves.
How
But
how public were I should say necessarily
The
the Dark
chaos,
Eldar one?
the chaos raids, they
No,
were
not the chaos,
s-
but the orcs and the Dark Eldar.
You're not really sure to that regard. I mean, the chaos raids were so popular and well known that people began fashioning clothing after the coloring because people were like, "Oh, that looks like a good
sections of the
color."
hive, sections of the hive were purged.
Yeah.
And then in the battle against the Inquisitor's forces, we were bombarded from orbit, probably by that rogue trader's ships.
And then a lot of times like Xenos and stuff, that stuff's not suppressed. It's intentionally kind of put out there just to stoke that hate of anything that's not human versus the chaos that would try to be
when this
purged and
side won.
suppressed. Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
What is your suggestion of course of action then?
I'm just saying, this man, if he is an agent of evil may not know that's necessarily the case. And that I almost feel that we're going to get further with him by extending a hand rather than a fist.
Let him
We
know
may
what the
already-
situation is. Give him a way out.
Yeah, we may already be past that point now, but it's
He appears to be a character of incredible resolve.
and apparent integrity.
Besides, there's nothing to say that you can't kill him afterwards.
There's also that.
I would tell him what we are, invite him into our confidence as someone we need to help root this out, and we judge his reactions during that investigation as to what we do with him at the end.
Very well. I'll inform him, see how it goes. If
Like
nothing
this-
else.
Yeah. You can always do the whole, obviously he didn't cave immediately. So you kind of like, you could tell somebody, oh, hey, would you want to join us? And they would do anything to get out of, before the torture started. But because it's already started, he's already proved that, he's not willing to give up anything easily. So anything he does divulge, might have a pretty good bit of truth behind it. He's not feeding you bullshit right off the bat, is what I mean to say.
So just to go back in. Kind of like a little bit less sternness to me.
You're trying to play the good cop
anger.
and the bad cop at the same time?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a play. Let me see it.
Let me inform you this as to why I am taking the actions that I am. I am among a organization that you probably do not know of, called the Inquisition. I am an acolyte of it.
He gasps
I was-
slightly as if, and then he whispers like stage whisper. So it is real.
I have been tasked with finding the gentleman that caused the attack of the church. Now,
What does that have to do with me?
I'm about to find out. When I discovered that the traitor was actually keeping eyes on you, that caused me to question as to why, whether it's to recruit or to kill. I do not know which. There's a chance that it was to recruit you or to kill you. The explosion at the facility has got me somewhat confused at the moment. Whether it was an attempt to kill you but delayed, or an attempt to you trying to cut out loose ends, so to speak. Now I must.
Are you bringing me into your confidence now?
I'm giving you a chance. I
Very
need to know who your friends are that has these weapons.
It will take some time to tell you who they are, where they are, and what they bought for what purpose. You should get a pen and paper and we can get started.
We all have data sites, right?
Okay, yeah. So he's like, can I see your data slate for a moment? I just wanted to check the time.
I got some
No.
stuff up on eBay, and I need to make sure that I haven't been outbid yet.
I think Lycus will hand him his data slate and then watch carefully and make sure he doesn't try to do.
Yeah, no, he only
anything.
just checks the time and then hands it back to you.
He just wants to know how long did the delay us for.
Yeah, it's
What time is it now before the?
You have slightly more than 3 hours.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, you tortured him for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
You have slightly more than 2 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, he begins breaking down each individual person, their family history, their reason for buying the gun, like their local voting record, and then their location. It sounds like it's going to take a while to get through over 100 people at this rate.
What is their
Storing-
general reasons? Is there like a common trend?
I mean, self-defense ends up being a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell for sure at this rate that you're going to miss the beginning of the Festival of Fists if he moves at this rate.
Yeah, it's after about an hour he'd probably cut it off. Say, I need to go have a timeline to keep with my own personal schedule. I'll have you
I
remain.
think he laughs when you say that. You've strapped him to a chair before his most important holiday while he's on vacation. He just starts laughing. You can't stop it.
Well, at least he still got both of his feet.
Of course, Inquisitorial Acolyte, I would hate to delay you with my torture. Please, feel free to step outside.
I will. I'll have you remain here to have keep watch of you.
Why? Of course. Why not?
Your sarcasm and sass is not being kind here.
What will you do? Torture me some more?
No. Perhaps. I'll see.
I would hope that in my performance review you would include my high level of resistance.
That is very admirable of you, I will admit. For now, you'll remain here. I'll have people keep watch of you until I have further notice. I think Lycus just leaves at that point.
Okay.
He's a bit distressed now.
Might want to remove the torture tools from the room.
Why?
That's a great question. Why?
If he's somehow able to get, break the chair loose, get over to them, tools or weapons.
He's in the middle of a whole base.
Something is obviously happening that has a short timeline.
You also don't want him to kill himself now, do you?
Acolyte, what I suggest we do is we don't return to him. Give it 20 minutes, half an hour. Have someone else go in there and tell him that you have exceeded whatever authority you have, and that he is being released now because you have no reason to hold him. Something that play along the same, re-quote the exact same things he told us about before in terms of the jurisdiction and the restrictions of his incarceration. Let him go free, and then we follow him. Something is obviously happening soon. He's trying to delay us here.
We'll do that.
Did we collect any possessions from him before he was taken to the room? Like, does he have any personal possessions?
I mean, he's got his identification badge that identifies him as being, senior arbitrator, as that were Guildweed, a data slate, a abridged personal copy of the Dictates Imperialis, standard edition for this planet, of course. Some like a small picked album. It's like inside a silver cigarette case that you would open up and then flip through like 4 or 5 picks. Hawaiian shirt and pants, several personal defense weapons, a knife, a chainsword.
Kalrak, what about we have one of the tech priests here on the base attach some sort of tracker to one of his possessions, so in case we lose him on foot, we can still find where he is.
I don't see why this should not be possible.
I don't have my death call assassin with me, do I? No, she's dead.
Yeah, she's
She
dead
died.
as, dead as fuck. And I think I ate part of her brain.
Oh yes, you did.
Actually, instead of a tech priest, I might be able to ask a tech marine to do it.
Either or.
Yeah. Because you said pretty much most of our forces garrisoned.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take them a while to get to you. For this plan to work, if you're trying to release him so that he can make it to the Festival of Fists, this plan has got less than an hour's worth of time. We're talking some tight time frame here.
probably just be better off just actually following him. I mean,
Yeah.
All right.
Let's.
In which case, I suggest that Kalrak and I follow him, and the other two go to the festival,
Indeed.
just in case that's not where he's going.
yeah.
Very well.
What's the
I mean,
plan?
like,
So I
it's-
think we've got a plan.
Yeah.
I think.
Tell it to me.
Right.
I've heard a lot of plans.
All right, so Lycus and I will go on ahead. We'll follow through with the plan of, the fake, he overstepped his authority. You're being released, and then Kalrak and Eshairr can.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head off, and we're gonna follow him. We're gonna tail him.
So Antipho, it's your job to be the good cop then. You're gonna come in and be like, oh, Lycus went too far with this. I'm gonna let you go.
Did he say he was with the Inquisition again?
Oh my god.
Good one.
That fairy tale? Oh boy.
Actually, yeah, I'll be the one to do that.
Okay, let's walk through that scene. He's strapped to the chair. His, torso's exposed. He's been stabbed by several torturous implements at various points. There's blood. Not a
We
lot
can
of
still
it.
watch this, by the way, can we?
Yeah, I assume that you guys are in,
We can
the
hear it.
mirrored side chamber, right?
Oh dear, you are a right mess there, aren't you? Well, luckily enough for you, we're going to have to let you go. Looks like Lycus overstepped his authority here.
I mean, he looked shocked when you said it. He's like, really?
Well, you're being tortured. You're an officer of the state. You have rights, just like the rest of us do. Let me guess. He told you he was from the Inquisition or some such nonsense like that, didn't he? He uses that as an intimidation tactic.
So he looks slightly...
Inquisition. Ha.
Yeah, he looks slightly confused, and then his face hardens back into his normal look and says, yes, right, he's not a member of the Inquisition, of course.
Don't think the Inquisition even exists. Anyways, I better get you out of here. Don't want to cause any more trouble. And I'll undo his shackles and lead him out, process him.
Yeah, he
Kick him
kind
out the door.
of hobbles a bit, takes back all of his weapons, and puts a shirt back on. And Kalrak and Eshairr, you're gonna follow him?
Yeah, we're gonna tail him.
Okay. So,
Fine.
I mean, he was just tortured, but he still attempts to get something close to like I wouldn't say a jog, like something slightly slower than a jog off the base to the planetarium. I mean, he's straight line directly towards it.
Right.
I mean, look, observing him is not difficult. There's nobody out at 11:45 at night on this main road of a small town when everybody's already at the planetarium waiting for the Festival of Fists.
I imagine I would have left him with a processing officer to make,
Yeah.
Here, sign this for all, verifying that you got all your stuff back. And while he's going through that, Lycus and I would have skipped on ahead to go to the planetarium.
Sure. I'm going to need
Gonna be
stealth
a good
checks
one.
from the two of you. And the difficulty is going to be increased given the fact that there's no way to explain why you're out this late following him. So difficulty is going to be 5. Well, that's no problem for you over there.
You got 3 shifts, but I'll see what Kalrak rolls first.
Let's see what.
Jesus.
What 7? Movies. Yeah, so I got stealth. I think 8. Yeah.
3, 4. Do you want to
Gonna
spend a
throw the
wrath?
Wrath to reroll the fails.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? What?
There we go.
There we go.
Yep, so we both got a shift. So I guess we'll spend a point to keep close to him as such, so we catch up, not long after he gets there, and then I guess shift the other points for glory. not that it matters, I think, because we're going to be finishing up soon. But,
So only one shift?
well, it would actually be because we've got if we do one shift each for speed, and then that
I'll
leaves
tell you
still
what,
two
if
shifts.
you give
for
me a
glory.
second shift, I'll throw a little spice in there.
Okay, no worries. Let's have some spice.
Okay? You guys follow him closely enough that you can hear him beginning to recite prayers. And at first, you hear a little bit about the Sky Father. He looks around, makes sure nobody else is around. And that's when the prayers change up a little bit. It suddenly goes into the great brass bull, the Axe Father, the Lord of Skulls. We have prepared for generations for this day. I have
And then he took a
traveled.
shuriken to the knee.
Is that what's happening?
Unless Kalrak stopped me.
I'm not going to stop you.
Okay. I guess that's where we pick up next episode, is you firing a shuriken at his knee. Friends.
I am not getting him a replacement leg.
I mean, I guess we'll have to see. Who knows on this show? Who's friend and who's foe? Yeah, but cliffhanger for next episode to some extent, I guess. I have to set up combat for you to just chop a guy's leg off in the middle of the road.
I don't think it's going to... I might not even need to bother.
I mean, the guy's already been weakened, so.
Friends, countrymen, imperialists, lend me your ears. This is the outro sequence for this particular episode. Sid, what do you got? I mean, listen, you played it cool this episode. You know, you kept it bacony.
Very bacony.
Very bacony.
Didn't fly one shot, let alone
Yeah,
all your
I
shots.
know.
That's
There was a gun
extremely
range involved.
disappointing to me.
Plenty of salt, though.
Plenty of salt. Yes, indeed. No, Antipho managed to get some food in him, so he's feeling a lot better. So
That's all we need to know is whenever we plan out like undertake an operation, there's just it's like distraction sandwich just to keep him occupied. It keeps his mouth full, so he keeps it shut. You know?
So Antipho's like my kid. He's hangry all the time.
yeah, yep, absolutely.
I guess.
No, it was interesting. I wish we could have included the wine into our decision making processes there. But yeah. Oh wow, this guy's a cultist. All right, he is a bad guy, and he's soon to be a dead bad guy. I had a lot of fun. Always do with this group. It was a blast, and yeah, I look forward to coming back next week for more BattleTech and more Warhammer 40K. And yeah, in the meantime, hopefully I'll be able to get out more videos too on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SidAlpha, in case you were wondering.
YouTube.com/SidAlpha.
youtube.com/SidAlpha.
You've got long-term payments, and you need cash now.
Call the Inquisition.
I would not call your debt plan in with the Inquisition. That sounds like a game-losing idea.
Yeah, that's about all I got, though.
You know, speaking of game-winning plans, friends, let us speak with Pano the Mad, who guided his torture team to victory tonight over the forces of chaos.
I don't know if it's victory yet. I got blown up through what was suspected of them trying to kill us.
I mean, you got
singed,
really
though.
fucking lucky with that card, is what you got.
That car came in handy more than I thought it would have.
I looked at that card. I'm like, man, that would suck. And then it's like, wow, that's perfect. It's just like,
everybody's like, we're all outside. Me, I'm inside. Well, the building blows up. Oh.
you essentially just walked outside the building, dusted yourself off, and just kept walking.
But I mean, if you look at the cards we got, Pondo got the one to ignore damage when you take it. I got the one to ignore a complication when you take it. And you got the one to make it so that when GM spends ruin to go first, you get to go first still. So all the cards were about dicking around the GM this episode.
Oh, shit.
Trust me, I know. I took a look at him.
Especially
Was
the
like,
one
fuck.
where you suddenly just start trying to flirt with somebody.
Yeah, I was actually tempted to use that with this guy. It's like, yeah, this guy actually falls in love with me now. Have fun with that.
I mean, you still could play that, technically speaking. Couldn't you?
I thought you were getting pretty well with Sam at one point. Could have been a tragic love story with Sam's death as well.
Sam, no! I loved you like a brother.
There wouldn't
No,
be
see, I
anything
was
saying
actually
no.
mentioning during the break, I was hoping to be able to get closer because Arthur mentioned all the females that were in the crowd there. They were pointing guns at us, and I was going to be like, that one.
It's just Antipho just staring at his business card and a
I
single
want
tear.
to be clear. I'm pretty sure the card says that you fall in love with each other, not that they fall in love with you.
No.
Yeah, it's the classic anime trope of enemies at first who fall in love on the battlefield.
Play to encourage an amorous relationship between your character and a non-player character. Add 3 wrath. You may spend wrath for this NPC.
Yeah. You
So it is mutual.
also must be compromised in that position as well.
Yeah,
Amorous
I'm okay
doesn't
with
necessarily
that.
mean love either, by the way. It could just be
Yeah.
a purely
Well,
sexual thing.
that's true.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I think amorous normally requires some level of passionate emotion. No, I guess not.
Back.
Lust is a very passionate.
According to
emotion.
the dictionary, it literally means sexual desire. So, all right, I'm
There we
defeated.
go.
Yeah.
We can
I
prove
didn't
this
get a
game.
chance to use it though.
He uses
we
it
can
on
prove this
the
game
one
shows,
Slaneshi in the entire audience.
We can
Slanesh,
show
not
a
even
game
once.
that shows graphic depictions of violence, but and torture, but then fades to black for love scenes.
Yeah, so it's just like all American television.
Look, you can show someone's head getting blown up, but don't you dare show a nipple.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how we do things. Here
We
in
have
the US today.
standards. Damn it.
We do have those standards. Can only say fuck once. Fuck.
Fuck.
Where were we? James.
Mondo. James.
So I was muted. So on the subject of saying fuck and ratings, by the way, I noticed there was a new film trailer today for a film called Free Guy. Has anyone seen that trailer yet?
No.
I have, yes, actually. Ryan Reynolds is
Yeah,
an
Ryan Reynolds.
PC.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. It's an NPC in a Fortnite like MMO, and I noticed it's a Disney film. So despite the fact it's got like pretty graphic violence in the trailer, I'm thinking of taking my son to see it. And I showed to my wife and said, "Can I take our son to see this?" She Maude Simpson hummed at me, but it's Disney, so how can it go wrong?
Right?
Let me tell you that Pretty Woman was also a Disney film.
It's true.
That's true. But no, look, I had a great game. Like I do enjoy the battles, but I really enjoy the role play, and I love getting the chance to do these investigations. It's a nicely drawn out conspiracy we've got going on here. Still trying to see how deep it goes, and it seems to go pretty deep. So could be an involved process to get this one sorted out.
I hope you guys weren't attached to this planet, because at the rate it's going.
Well, I think only 2 of us are from it. Is that right? Or is Antipho
It's all-
from this world or
Yeah.
different world?
it's-
I don't know what other planets you guys think you're going to go to after you blow this one up.
I have a planet ship I live on. Well, no, actually, no, in exile. But anyway,
Look. As far as I know, Medusa is fine. I'm all right with it.
I like the fact. I mean, you can't even go to other planets. Well, there are other planets in this system, but you can't even go to other systems because there's no fucking Astromalamalupicon. You're just like, we'll just blow it up and float around in space for a while.
No, they can travel. It's just a lot harder to do it.
No one does it from this planet. That's from this system. They don't go to, they don't go from, and no one showed up until Bryce Danger. And
burn the planet down
we've
one
got a
house at
rogue
a
trader we
time.
can go live with now as well. So that's all right.
that's your plan is to throw in with Rogue Trader. I think I'm gonna need another book for that.
My plan is to throw in with Papa Pharaohs and bye everybody.
Well, he's already dead, so
Papa Pharaohs isn't dead.
Papa
He didn't die.
Pharaohs, the head of the.
You're thinking of Ferris Manus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought, the Primarch. Why?
Yeah, no, that's not Papa Pharaohs. Papa Pharaohs is the
Are
Iron
you saying
Father.
Papa Pharaohs?
Yes, his
Like
name's
PAPA?
Iron Father Pharaohs. Yeah,
Really?
his nickname's Papa Pharaohs, as everybody
Yeah,
calls him.
he's the Iron.
Because he's
Father.
an Iron Father.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You can see why I might get confused as to why
Yeah.
someone might call it Primarch
Well,
Papa.
yeah. No.
Plenty of Marines named after their Primarch as well.
Okay.
Like Vulcan Haskan from the Salamanders.
I
That's
love
gotta
that
be
there's
confusing.
some of the early Iron Hands are literally Medusan because they were sons of Medusa. It's like, oh, that was real creative, guys.
One of Horus's lieutenants was called Horus.
Well, his nickname was Little Horse because he looked exactly like him.
Yeah, what's
But
up?
he is
Little
Horus
horse here.
Horus Axeman. Yeah. Until he got fucked up.
I saw a report saying in Boston that the FBI picked up like 50 members of the Latin Kings. They all call themselves King and then their gangster call sign, I guess.
I am Alfarius.
So one guy's call sign was King Fruity, and I was like, damn, what did you do to get that name? King
It's
Fruity.
probably like the biggest person too. It's, like you call the biggest dude, he got tiny. Probably one of those things.
I mean, if you're calling someone King Fruity, is it because they like oranges or appletinis? Like,
Well, this week I learned that because of all the bushfires here, there's been a whole bunch of koalas that have been found in damaged area, and they've been taken to wildlife shelters for medical treatment. And apparently, whenever koalas get handed in, they always name them, and they've got two names. So the first one is the name of where they were found, the suburb they were found in, and the second name is the name of the person that found them, irrespective of gender. So, and then they sort of tag them, and that's their name from that point onwards on their electronic tag.
that could get some weird combinations. Oh, you could get that Steve Gary, where you end up having two first names as your name.
Never trust somebody that has two first names.
I mean, you could end up in the Powers Booth situation where you end up with someone with two last names. That's the name of an actor. That's real.
Which
I didn't
is
make it up.
more untrustworthy though.
I mean, when I hear untrustworthy names, they're normally like Maximilian.
Yeah, I was about to say it's
Vaughn.
always like
If it could reasonably be used as a vampire name, that is someone that I instantly distrust.
that's pretty good. It's like it's a pretty good index.
And if your name's Dracula, I just got to go ahead and assume that you're actually Dracula at this point. No one would name their kid Dracula. You know, speaking of people with kids named Dracula, let's talk to Pondo. Are you just
We've
playing
already talked to
Pokemon
him.
right now? Oh, do we?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
yeah, I knew you were playing Pokemon. I could see it. You and Cotton sit the exact same way when you're playing Pokemon. I just want you to know
Well,
that.
it's
You both look
handheld.
directly straight down, right down your shirt. Like, oh, just gonna play that Pokemon. Fine, Atomic. You're the only one we haven't talked to, apparently.
It's the same look Arthur gets when he plays Fate Grand Order.
I play Fate Grand Order up
It's very
here, but yes, I do go, oh, yeah, like it's super obvious when I do it. Ugh,
Cool.
love Fate Grand Order.
Hi, I'm Atomic Spoon. I'm here. You can find me at twitch.tv/Atomic Spoon. I'm here on Wednesdays for a New Game Plus, and obviously here on Saturdays. And it's currently it because I'm not raiding at the moment in Warcraft. So I'm trying to find more stuff to fill my time because I'm easily bored. But it's pretty much it for right now. It's pretty good. I mean, this is the first RPG session we've had, a month and a half?
That's what I
Close
thought.
to, something like that. So yeah, getting back into it's going to be pretty good. Hopefully we'll be able to get in.
I thought you guys did a pretty good job of breaking
for the-
through some mysteries.
Yeah.
I liked it better when you guys thought he was innocent, though. Now you're all like, he's super
Well,
guilty, and I'm like,
it
yeah,
was-
he is.
It was kind of we didn't have enough evidence to go one way or the other. So we were kind of like, we don't want to go too far. Like, don't slit his throat, or when he could possibly be an ally. So it's like, but then obviously now we have crossed, now we know.
Now we know.
So, because, it never hurts to have possible allies, right? Especially, considering how the campaign's going with us having to just extricate ourselves. a lot
Yeah,
of the
it'd be
time.
nice to have an arbitrage that we don't end up having to kill at some point in time.
Yeah, because an Arbitrace might have informants of his own. It's like that's, whatever. So, but now we have.
We didn't have to kill the first Arbitrages we saw. We just did because it was more convenient than explaining ourselves.
Well, yeah, they were filthy mutants and they needed to be purged.
Well, yes, we did.
Anyway,
that was all you guys.
what do you mean? Who you calling you people?
I said you
Um,
guys.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good time. So, that's pretty much it. I mean, how you doing, AP? What you got going on?
Oh, this, that, here, and the next thing. Tomorrow night I got Rimworld back. Apparently that's real popular around these parts.
I gotta see if I'm still alive in that.
You are still alive.
Nice. I'm a nudist.
It's hard for me to let go though, like, and let people kill my little dudes because I want to keep them alive at all costs. But I'm in this weird place where, like, if people do one bad thing to my guys, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But that never happens. It's always someone that's like, oh, I saw that you just got malaria. Well, why don't I give you the flu and then kill your donkey, cause a meteor to fall out of the sky, and also you're now being attacked by robots. And I'm like, great, now I got like 4 things to do at once. Thanks a lot, jackass.
You do get a lot of with that plugin though. You do get a lot of stuff just from people, like if they're obviously.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've never.
Over, like,
I'm doing better than I've ever done, and it's literally because I'm like, oh, I'm out of marble blocks, and someone's like, here's 5,000 marble blocks. I'm like,
well,
oh,
yeah, like
great.
as soon as you assigned me a dude, and I was like, I saw I had a Lee Enfield. I'm like, all right, let me gift my dude
an assault rifle.
M16 exactly. It's like that's a little step up. So it kind of helps, because you've got. I don't say necessarily. It's not quite like beneficial backseating, I guess, because they can kind of pay attention to stuff that you focus on one thing and they see, oh, that person could use some armor, and then they gift it to you, or whatever. So it's definitely different than watching one person play. It adds a bit of a dynamic to it. So I think it kind of evens out, but I could see it definitely could be overwhelming when there's just that much shit, major events going on at one time.
Well,
but
I mean, the problem is that at least one time a dude was running like 7 accounts at once and was feeding himself coins. He was sending coins to himself so he could afford the really expensive shit to ruin my life. It was not positive.
Yeah.
But that's what I got going on. I might try to get all of my shows going as often as possible through the holiday season. I've never successfully done that. I don't expect it's going to start now. But just trying to figure out where I'm going next with maybe I'm going to do some Jagged Alliance 2 pre-recording. I don't know. I like that game. People like that game.
People fucking love RimWorld. You get like close to 30 people watching it. Shit.
Maybe. I guess
something
we'll see.
Like that. I think it was like 27 the other night or something like that when I was watching. So people love it.
I'm trying to refine keyword searching on YouTube. And I gotta tell you, I was super surprised to find out my top search keyword was Mistborn Adventure Game. So maybe I'll go back and run another episode of that now that they're doing a Kickstarter. Hard to say. Last time I ran Mistborn Adventure Game, I insisted that all 4 players have read the Mistborn novels. I don't know that I'd be able to do that again. I don't think I could find 4 people who've read Mistborn at this point anymore.
There's an audiobook version.
There is. They're Brandon Sanderson audiobook versions, so they're pretty much the toppest tier that you can possibly get. Is everyone good for next week? To do a little, let's call it, cultist killing. I'm not going to say that cultists are involved, but maybe the words corn have come up tonight.
Yeah.
Not spoken by our lips at all.
Yeah, I'm down.
Not corn specifically, but it's been heavily implied.
I ain't traveling for the rest of the year because fuck that. So I'll be here.
I don't travel next till February.
And all my the next concerts I'm going to are going to be here in Orlando, so I'm not going anywhere.
Well, I ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. So I'll see you next week. Nothing. I didn't get any reaction out of anybody. Fine. Okay.
See you Wednesday.
You play your dang Pokemon, Pondo.